Good afternoon, students. I'm Dr. Eric Andova Nsuti. Welcome to Maths 424, Critical and Review Writing. And in this course, we are going to begin the lectures by looking at the concepts and their linkages, particularly in the context of critical thinking and reviewing. So, by way of definition, criticism is very fundamental in the context of communication. And as a student of level 400, it is expected that you are critically minded and very sound in terms of evaluating and assessing issues. So criticism is an appraisal, an evaluation, or judgment offered on a piece of art, performance, or production, which may be positive or which may be negative. So criticism implies a deeper knowledge. It involves understanding the standard and measurement of a particular phenomenon in a given context. Now, criticism in this context implies an intellectual appreciation of any work of art by consequence, and the value which you often attached to that particular function of criticism, which can be appreciated based on how you are able to criticize a particular literature, painting, or any work of art of any kind. Now, critical writing is the literary or assessment or examining of any work by giving personal judgment. How you can use your mental ability, your creative thinking prowess for you to be able to assess a particular content that is stable before you. Now, both communication students and communication scholars often come in contact with different texts, different books, different artistic work of art, which could be movie, music, or any fine arts that is of public concern. So the expectation is for you to interrogate that particular work of art, to look at the content and the context within which the writer, the author of that particular work of art, assembles ideas together for you to be able to appreciate his effort, because writing is a mental work. It involves mental capacity for you to be able to assemble words together, which will go a long way in trying to expose people ordinary to issues they don't have idea, or perhaps they don't have comprehensive or sufficient ideas as far as that work of art is concerned. Now, when we talk of criticism, scholars like Pope identify 4 basic meanings of criticism, which implies 1, finding fault and pulling to pieces, that is the text, in a negative sense. When you are assessing a particular content, it's not about finding fault in that particular piece or in that particular work of art. It also tries to look at it in the lens that maybe perhaps the writer did not even take proper cognizance of those issues. So you are finding fault at and also pulling out some of the things that are fundamental and essential, so that at the end of the day, anybody who have contact with that particular piece or that particular work of art will appreciate the beauty and the value of it. The second one is analyzing and pulling to piece, to a text in a natural sense, taking apart what constitutes that particular work of art and to what direction the writer undertake in order to put those kind of work of art together. The next thing is also interpreting the text with a view of obtaining the meaning and the understanding of that particular text. So criticism, you are also interpreting. It's not just about reading, it's not just about comprehending, it's also subjecting the text into what intellectual rigor, so that at the end you can be able to appreciate that work of art. You are not using your foresight to scrutinize, to synthesize, to evaluate, to assess, to interpret, and to come up with a kind of wonderful suggestions, wonderful opinions, ideas as far as that work of art is concerned. The next point that was also established by this author is what? Evaluating the text with a view of establishing its absolute worthiness. Whether what you are reading is of essence, is of value, whether one can appreciate that particular work of art. So, critical writing, on the other hand, is assessing articles either for broadcast or publication, which appreciate and judges the acts. It is an expression of the opinion on a particular piece of work. So, critical writing is not just writing, it's also looking at it from the point within which the writer ordinarily would have not explored to certain things that you are able to pinpoint in that particular work of art. So from this discussion, we can be able to appreciate that clear perception of artistic work, clear understanding of this work of art, having deep knowledge and thoughts on those issues is very fundamental when it comes to criticism. Expression of opinion about performances, a book, a dance, an act of exhibition or movie, or other evidence of art is also essential in this direction or in this context. The demand is for you to demonstrate a kind of competence and knowledge to show up how you can be able to assess a content and then look at it just as a medical doctor could look at his patient, for example. For example, if a doctor open, the stomach of his patient and say that he cannot close it back, that is very dangerous. So, as a critical-minded scholar or student, you should look at a particular write-up from a perspective that ordinarily people can be able to look at it and then they cannot be able to say things that you cannot be able to, personally you can be able to come up with it. So, in an ideal situation, what it means to be critical is assessing that work thoroughly, looking at it objectively, and passing judgment without being biased, without taking side, so that at the end, the author of that particular work can be able to appreciate your input. Remember that one is not condemning what you have put together, but the person that is critiquing the work is making sure that that work will be put in a better perspective. That is what criticism entails. It's not finding fault and leaving it, and then it's about finding fault, suggesting ways to improve it, to give it a better outlook or context. So, that is a general perspective on criticism. So I hope you are able to take one or two things as far as criticism is concerned in this context. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video.